Okay. Do 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 do. All right. Seems like some Trump had some stuff to do today. All right, I gotta get the.
Thank you very much. It's a real honor to have the highly respected, the great Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Norway with us today.
Uh-oh, Norway. Whoa. I'm sorry. Is this the full? Never mind. That's not. Yeah, I'm trying to find this meat. Is this one better?
Oh, well, that's we're talking about a little.
Oh god, that's even
subject.
fucking worse. That is actually abysmal. What about here? Nope.
Highly respected, the great Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Norway with us today, who, as you know.
Does this have the whole thing? Oh.
Thank you very much. It's a real honor to have the highly respected, the great Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Norway with us today, who, as you know, has been doing a fantastic job and truly respected throughout the world as a leader. And thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And we're going to be having a meeting in the Oval Office in a little while where you'll be invited back and you can ask some questions. It's also pleasure to have my friend who did such a good job at NATO, my great friend, right? So you really did. We started off, they had no money, and they ended up having a lot of money after we said, you got to pay up. But you did a fantastic job, and thank you very much. And I'm glad you're here. Glad we meet each other again under these circumstances.
Oh, you have a lot of money
we'll be,
now, eh?
Meeting in a little while at the Oval Office, and if you have maybe one or two questions, we'll do it now. And after that, we'll go to the Oval. Yes.
Mr. President, on Russia, do you still believe that Putin is serious about peace, given the events overnight in Ukraine? And if that
apparently fucking Putin keeps shooting rockets.
So we are thinking that very strongly that they both want peace, but they have to get to the table. We're waiting a long time. They have to get them to the table, and I think we're going to get peace. We want to save 5,000 young people. I used to say 2,500. I now say 5,000. We have, Mr. Prime Minister,
apparently
we have
today
about
is
5,000
like
young people a week that are dying in that ridiculous war. And, I started out because I didn't like all the money that we were paying, and then I realized how many people were dying. And that's by far the more important element right now. I'm saying we can save thousands of people. And I don't like that it takes long at all. But I think they both want to make peace. I do believe so. There's a lot of hatred there. There's a lot of very bad blood, a lot of distrust. But I think I hope we're going to get there for the sake of a lot of young people that are dying.
Mr. President, do you have a deadline for when the party?
I have my own deadline. And we want it to be fast. And the Prime Minister is helping us. He wants it to be fast too. And I think everybody in this, at this time in NATO, they want to see this thing happen. So we have a deadline, and after that, we're going to have a very much different attitude. But I think that has a very good chance of getting done.
Mr. President, let them know to prove that they're an important ally to the U.S.? What can Norway do?
Just keep doing what they're
What
doing.
can
Have a very good
Norway do?
relationship with Norway. Great leader, great people. I know many of the
Yeah,
people
I
in
mean,
Norway.
I don't.
And it's
In
truly
terms of
it's an incredible country.
Norway's military strength, I don't think I don't think they have like a big military presence. Yeah, totaling 70,000 people. Armed forces include the Army, Navy, Air Force, and significant investments in modernizing equipment capability. The Arctic. Norway is NATO member, so they get all the help from NATO. Operation contributing to the enhanced forward presence in Eastern. Yeah, so basically, there are a bunch of reserves. But yeah. They have something. They rank 38th out of 145th. Out of the global firepower. Anyway.
So all they have to do is keep doing what they're doing, I think is probably the best answer I can give, yeah.
I mean, yeah, they're NATO. I mean, they should be. They should be getting information from NATO.
Defense alliance, Mr. President, is it
Right there.
from your perspective?
Well, it's a very interesting question. It's certainly very important for Europe, and I think without us it wouldn't be as nearly as powerful. And as the former Secretary General, who did a great job, can tell you, I played when I was there a very big role in making sure that NATO is funded by the 28. At that time, they had 28 countries, including us, because many of the countries weren't paid, and they ended up being paid. You would
gotta
say.
pay. You gotta pay your fair share to
very,
NATO.
very nice about it, as far as I was concerned. Other presidents went in, they made a speech, and they left, and that kept going on. And you know, in the meantime, they had no money, and the United States was paying far more than its fair share. You could say that they were paying. I actually said sometimes it looked like 100%.
As usual,
and it was
fucking
unfair.
Trump doing
And
that shit.
the two of us worked very well together, and we took care of the situation.
I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, it is hard to say how much money we are really putting in right military power. I mean, we are probably one of the most right U.S. one of the most leading.
Yeah,
countries
well,
in
with the United
military
States,
power.
almost everybody has a surplus. It's
Up there
really
with
an
like
amazing.
Russia and China.
It's an amazing phenomenon. No, there's a surplus of a couple of $1 billion. I think you have with us. I congratulate you. That's very good. We got to get a little bit of that for ourselves, maybe. But they do have a surplus. Norway has a surplus.
I mean, they should have a surplus, man.
Analysts have pointed out that the U.S. actually need allies.
That place probably looks
Norway
beautiful.
as a possible ally in the situation?
I think Norway's always been an ally. They've been somebody we've been very close to, very friendly with. Maybe more so now with me than other people, but I think Norway's always been a great ally, yeah. Norway's been a friend.
That's a very strange question, actually, because the U.S. is our lead ally, and we build on a relationship with which
Do we look at Norway's scenic beauty?
your state and Secretary of Defense. So this is a very strong tie.
But it was a question about ally in the tariff situation specifically.
Tariff situation.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's, we're talking about a little bit different subject then. We're talking about a different type of ally. No, in this case, he would be very much inclined to be an ally of Norway because he wants to make the best business deal possible. And Norway and the Norwegians are great business people. They're great traders. They're great, very smart nation, very well-managed nation has been for a long time, and in particular now with this leadership. But we'll be talking about trade and other things, and I think we're going to come to a conclusion very quickly.
Goddamn Nords and their goddamn beautiful mountain landscape and lakes and ocean.
Deserves to be nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Well, I salute President Trump for having been taking very important initiatives to get this conflict towards an end which both parties deserve.
That's one place I would like to visit.
have a ceasefire, save lives, move towards something which is more secure for Europe, for the people concerned. And on that we work together. And I look forward to go into some details because we are at a critical moment. On that price, that is a committee taking care of that, which is completely working on its own terms, and I cannot comment on that.
Mr. President, a question on China.
But thank you very much for that question.
May I ask you a question on China?
I like that question. Yeah, please.
A question on China. Can you clarify with whom
China,
US
China,
is speaking
China.
with
Oh, no,
They're
I
saying
gotta play the
it's fake
song.
news that trade talks are happening.
Oh,
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning, and we've been meeting with China. And so I think you have, Jeff, as usual. I think you have your reporting wrong. Thank you very much. We'll see you. We'll see you inside. Thank you.
Okay, there you have it. They're going inside. Shut up. Thank you. What? Well, I'll just put this one up too, just in case. I guess. Oh no, don't look at that. That's don't worry about that. That's school stuff. That's my school stuff. Don't worry about it. Oh yeah, shit, I was about to do. Oh yeah, what time is it? Where is it? Oh whoa. Wait, what? Where did it all go? Exit? Oh no, that's one. Okay. Oofed. Okay, sorry, let me grab all this bullshit real quick. Let me grab this bullshit. Okay. Get the fuck out of here. Let's get this one. This is the one we want right here. We don't want the long ass fucking bullshit. Ah, shit. I should probably stop cursing, that's probably a good idea. Every time I try to curse, I have to say poop, okay? That's just how it's gonna happen.
An honor
Just
to have
sounds
you
gonna go.
the White House. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. This year is 200 years since the first immigration from Norway to the U.S. We come here early in your term. Appreciate that you take time. We have highlighted that very close cooperation. We are allies. We look after security in the north, in the Arctic. A lot of confidence between our services. We have discussed in detail the war in Ukraine. I have saluted the President for his initiative to make progress towards something that can be a ceasefire and an end to this terrible conflict. It is a complex picture, but it needs political will and push, and we have exchanged ideas on that. And then I think the President and his team have been open to hear our perspectives. And on trade, we have also emphasized that we can benefit, both of us, by trading. We can be complementary, and we can find good solutions. But first of all, I appreciate, Mr. President, the spirit and the tone of this conversation, which has been a confirmation of a very strong partnership.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Any
Mr.
questions?
President, can I ask you
Yes.
first, Mr. President, have you spoken
Always
about
the
tariffs that you
fucking
want to impose on
screaming with these
Norway?
people.
Is there a chance that you can lower
We spoke
the
about trade,
tariffs?
and we understand each
Trade
other very
deals?
well. I think we'll have no problem.
You think that you will get an agreement?
I think we'll have no problem whatsoever with Norway.
Oh, we're getting trade deals with Norway. If anything, I think it's going to be more like
We
military
didn't,
stuff.
but I love it.
Because
I
they're
mean,
like
I've been
right
there,
there.
and it is a beautiful
Like
place.
right
They
there.
have-
But I told the President that, you know, he is receiving
They
us
probably
early in the
want
term.
to
He's
beef
welcome
up
to
their
visit Norway.
military
We would
power,
like to have
just
him,
in
and
case.
it will be another way of emphasizing this strong friendship.
Well, probably more than
Norway
that,
has been
obviously.
staunch,
Probably more
supporter of
infrastructure. I
Ukraine
don't
Yes.
know.
Since the Russian invasion.
They'll probably talk it over.
2022. Has something been discussed here today that may have altered your views on things?
No, we want to, very simply, I have no allegiance to anybody. I have allegiance to saving lives, and I want to save a lot of lives. A lot of young people, mostly young people. It's the war. It's the soldiers. And if we can do that, also, as you know, I got started because the money that's been spent on this war is insane. It should have never happened. And it would have
Well, I
never
mean, he
happened
could
if I
have
were
just said
president.
it's in our nation's
But
best
Biden spent
interest to help
$350
right,
billion
these
on
people.
this, and it's a shame. And that's what got me involved. And then I looked at, and I see the results. It's horrible. It's a killing field. 5,000 soldiers a week, on average. And we
Yeah,
want to
that's
stop that. We both
apparently
wanna
the
stop
new
that
number that
for a lot of
he's
reasons,
been
but I would say
putting
that
out now.
is my number one reason.
Like recently. I don't know if I have the
that we will get Russia
tweet.
to accept a deal that also
Oh,
Ukraine
no, that's
and
dumbass
Europe
Frogan.
is-
Oh god.
I
Oh
think so.
no,
Yeah.
that's
I do. I believe they will accept, and I think we're going to get this over with. I
Oh,
hope so
no.
soon.
I don't have the
Go
You
ahead.
continue to
Nope.
lack support from NATO allies in your goal of obtaining Greenland. How will you proceed if you don't get that support?
Well, Greenland's going to be interesting, but that's for another day. I think we need that for international peace.
What are you expecting of your
And if you
allies?
don't have that, I think it's a big threat to our
Greenland?
world. So I think Greenland's very important for international peace.
Don't we
Yeah,
actually
please go ahead.
have like Americans over there?
proposed.
Honestly, we have Americans all over these
That seemed
places.
like a slightly different message, a personal message. What is your level of frustration with President Putin
I didn't like
at this
last
point?
night. I wasn't happy with it. And we're in the midst of talking peace, and missiles were fired. And I was not happy
Yeah,
with it.
that's-
That's what I
Yeah,
meant. And
apparently,
that's, you know,
yeah, that's what I
what he said.
this
I assume,
morning.
I assume that's what you mean.
Sorry,
Yeah.
if
I
the
assume.
bombs keep falling, will you consider additional sanctions toward Russia, or what will you do if President Putin?
I'd
does
rather
not
answer
respond?
that question in a week.
Putin
I
put
wanna see if we
on
can have
did a
deal.
ceasefire
No
for
reason to
like
answer
the
it now, but I won't be happy.
right
Let
for
me put it that
Easter
way.
and all that, but then
Things
continue.
will happen.
Why are you not putting more pressure
Some
on
shit like
Russia
that.
and a lot of European
Putting a lot of
supporters?
pressure. You don't know what pressure I'm putting on Russia. They're dealing. You have no idea what pressure I'm putting on Russia. We're putting a lot of pressure.
Can you maybe tell us that? What kind of
We're
pressure
putting
are
a
you
lot of
putting?
pressure on Russia, and Russia knows that, and some people that are close to it know, or he wouldn't be talking right now. The Prime Minister understands that better than anybody. He wouldn't be talking right now. He's talking, and we're putting a lot of pressure. I think he wants to make a deal. We're going to find out very soon, but it takes two
Yeah,
to
we'll
tango.
see. I don't know.
And you have to have Ukraine
Like
want
I
to make
said,
a deal too. And
Like,
they're
well,
being hit very
everyone
hard.
said this. Well, he
And
said
I
this
do
himself.
believe they want
He
to
was
make
going
a
to
deal.
fix it for today. Has not been fixed yet.
Mr. Prime Minister, if I may.
I mean, obviously, I'm pretty sure he was just blowing hot air. Because I didn't think that was gonna get fixed on the first two. There's no way you're gonna fix this problem that's been fucking stewing for a while.
Today has told you that he does not agree, and he believes in territorial integrity of the Ukraine.
Not only that, but it's been already going for over 4 years.
Former Secretary General happens to be right here.
That's a long time.
So they can't put
to
words in his
forget
mouth.
grievances
He's been a
and
great,
all that just to
he's
go
been a
to
great,
the right
general,
table
frankly.
to lose it
Because
right.
that's what you are. Really, you're a general. But he's
To
been a
lose
great
everything
Secretary
in a
General. We
sense.
had a tremendous relationship, very successful, and I think he could speak for himself. He's right here.
But do you still agree that Ukraine have to give some territory away to win peace?
Well, it depends what territory. They've been fighting. They've lost a lot of territory. And we'll do the best we can, working with Ukraine. We'll do the best we can. But they lost a lot of territory. When you say Crimea, that was handed over during a president named Barack Hussein Obama. That had nothing to do with me, Crimea. That was 11 years ago with Obama. And they made a decision. There wasn't a bullet fired. There was no fighting. There was no anything. They just handed it over. Now they say, well, can you get it back? I think that's going to be a very difficult thing to do. That was given by Barack Obama when he was president, not by Donald Trump.
All right.
Mr. President, I have a long meeting, Mr.
proposal
President.
that you put on the table. It's a 30-day ceasefire.
Yeah, that
associated
happened
with
literally 2014, 2015, literally. There's even talks about that happening. I did a video on it too. Fuck, I don't remember the name of it. But it was when that fucking one of our goddamn senators or congresswomen fucking went over there and had one of her leaked goddamn phone calls with another fucking congressman or some shit. I don't remember.
National security team presented it.
It was literally the
and
Barack
Russia.
Obama
2 months ago,
right
Ukraine
cabinet
agreed
team
to
that
ceasefire
was
proposal.
doing some shit over there for some
Russia
reason.
has not. And my question is Russia the obstacle to peace?
They're doing
based upon
something.
That, just getting to that 30-day ceasefire.
I don't think so. I think that they both want peace right now. They're ready to do something. We'll see what happens. Complicated, very complicated. But
Well,
I think
it also
they
had to
are
do
both
with
very much
some NATO
looking
shit
to
too,
make
I
a deal.
think.
Marco, what would you say?
Well, first of
Again,
all,
I don't know if we're
what was
gonna
put
get
before
any of
our
that
partners
fucking
was
information.
options to discuss about things that it would take to end
Too
the
much
war.
fucking
This war is
secrecy and
endable. Both
all
sides
these
have to agree to
fucking
it. We've shown them a
stupid
pathway forward.
deals.
We've discussed those ideas. It was a good meeting yesterday. There'll be good meetings over the weekend. We've shown them the finish line. We need both of them to say yes. But what happened last night with those missile strikes should remind everybody of why this war needs to end. It's horrible those missiles landed. What's even worse is there are today people that were alive yesterday that are not alive today because this war continues, and the president wants to stop it. And everyone should be thanking the president for being a peacemaker and trying to save lives. That's what we're trying to do here.
Every
It's
time
not our war, we
fucking
didn't start
Putin
it,
does
but
something,
we're trying to
fucking
end
Trump
the
has to
dying,
come
we're
out
trying
and
to
be
end
like,
the
God damn
destruction."
it.
And we've shown the path forward. We can see the finish line, but both of them have to get there. We're going to do everything we can to help them get there, but they have to ultimately say yes. Both
And
of
we
them
are
do.
using a lot of pressure
Yeah, I
on
mean,
both.
these
If you
are-
think we're just in there because we're nice people, and we
These
are
are
nice
very
people, but we're using a
tense
lot of pressure on
times.
both.
What
It's not a long
concessions,
meeting, Mr.
Mr.
President.
President, and to your national security team, what concessions has Russia offered up thus far to get to the point where you're closer to peace?
Stopping the war, stopping taking the whole country. Pretty big concession.
Mr. President, if you are going to take down the tariffs,
Even Trump knows that fucking Putin can fucking just steamroll goddamn Ukraine
buy
so
more?
easily.
Well, you don't
Hate
need snow.
that.
You don't need skis. You don't need ski champions either.
But
right?
the
You have
only
a lot of
reason
them.
why Russia hasn't fully
we
like
just want to
gone
keep the relationship
right
the way it is.
balls
We
to
have,
the wall is
we've had a
because,
great
well,
relationship.
as soon as
I
he
think
does
now
that,
maybe
everyone's
closer
gonna
than
be
ever,
looking
but
at him.
We've had a great relationship with Norway. I think just keep it the way it is, kid. You can't do better.
Really? Not even by, say,
Well, if they want to give us some additional concessions.
Big ass red
You can't do
fucking
much better.
warning.
Yes,
Mr.
yes.
President, you had a long meeting with Norway today. You said that Norway is doing a lot of things right, but on the Ukraine, if I can ask both you and the Prime Minister,
I keep cursing.
did you find common ground
This is
today
a poop.
on Ukraine and the peace plan?
Totally, it's totally common ground. The Prime Minister can speak about it, but I can just say he wants to see people stop dying more than anything else, and he'd like to see it end.
Throw that shit out the window.
He's going to help us end it.
Mr. President, can I say that to move towards an end of this war, U.S. engagement is critical, and President Trump made that possible. That is.
Yeah, people forget. The only people who can really talk to fucking Putin right now is probably Trump. Right? He fucking hates the EU. He hates UK. I don't think Putin's talking too much to these people. You think Putin's gonna listen to fucking fuckboy in Canada's? No. He's not gonna fucking listen to those fucking retards. To Putin, everyone's a fucking bitch.
It's clear, that is obvious, it's really happening.
Well, probably
now,
except
the
for like
important thing is that both
maybe
parties
Trump.
have to know that they have to deliver, and they have to
But
feel
yeah, other
the
than
pressure
that, everyone's
to
a
deliver.
pussy.
Ukraine is under attack. They are defending themselves. Lives are being lost.
Sorry,
and we believe very firmly that there needs to be a ceasefire. The initiative taken by the U.S. Some time ago, it needs to be respected. And then to move on to something which both parties can own. That is the complicated part.
I shouldn't belittle the
a
countries.
dramatic war. And here I believe Europeans and Americans
true.
working together, as we do
Military
much
power
closer now.
comes a long way.
I salute the team of President Trump of being, open in that process. We had a good discussion on this today, and then we have to move on, and we cannot lose time because this is too much drama happening. One thing is people losing their lives, but it is a bad thing for Europe, and it's a bad thing for the world to having such a broad conflict going on. It can have ramifications.
Oh yeah, people forget too that since the conflict is still going, yeah, our money's still fucked up too because of this. Right, all the sanctions, all the fucked up shit that's going on in Ukraine, all the shit that's going on with Israel. Yeah, that's kind of fucking our economy a little bit. Just a tad.
It's far beyond Ukraine.
Mr. President,
follow-up question
sir,
on China.
Mr. President, if I forgot my question. I wanted to ask about.
It's all right.
Sorry.
That happens to
It
the
happens sometimes, yeah. No, Mr. President, I wanted to ask about the. Zelensky has said that he wants more Patriot missiles. So
oh my god, he wants more missiles. He wants more armaments from the U.S.
Uh-oh. For peace,
what's he gonna say? He's probably gonna have to be like, not gonna talk about that
sharing intelligence with Ukraine.
Let's see what happens. I think we're going to make a deal. And if we make a deal, that'll be wonderful. We won't have to worry about your question. You can ask that question in 2 weeks, and we'll see. But I think we're getting very close. The Prime Minister feels the same way, and we'll hopefully not have to answer that question.
Wow, he already gave a timeline. I don't know if you want to give that timeline. Mr. Orange Man, please.
Because I like them.
Mr. President, I don't think that's
and
a
I
good
like
idea.
you, Prime Minister, and I like the way your government runs. And I respect the King. He's highly respected in Norway. It's a great thing, not an easy thing to do. He's done a great job. Yeah.
Would you like an invitation to visit the King?
Absolutely. You get me that invitation.
I just told the President he's welcome to visit Norway.
President Trump, first like party
you said before that you like the Norwegian Petroleum Fund, and I'm wondering if that has been up for discussion today, the way that we have structured our money and whether.
Well, this fund was created in the late 1990s to save for future generations the income from oil and gas. Norwegians should continue to work as hard, dedicated, innovate, and move forward despite having these incomes, which we happen to be in the period or history where we can harvest, and we have transferred that into investments, half of them, by the way, here in the United States. So I think this is a model which we have been able to explore. If we can share experiences, and we do with our colleagues in the US, you never copy this one-to-one, but there can be techniques and way of working that we have used in organizing our fund. Jens Stoltenberg was the finance minister when the first dollar entered that fund. So he's a safe hand to have as a finance minister today. What do you say?
No, and as you said, Mr. Prime Minister, we are ready to sit down with the US to also work with them on if they want to establish a sovereign wealth fund.
Now that I think about it, I don't think Biden met with the Norwegians.
Fund because we have a good experience with our fund.
Yeah, now that I think about it, I don't think Biden was doing any like big like get-togethers with these guys during COVID,
are invested in the United States, mainly,
or at least trying to do any deals.
Fixed income, including government bonds. So. This
he
is
just sat on his ass and did
in
nothing.
the United States, expressed by the strong investment of the sovereign wealth fund.
He was taking a sweet time going to his
we had a very good and extensive
going
discussion
to his
about
other
Ukraine,
properties
to peace.
go on
and
vacation.
As the Prime Minister said, we commend the US for pushing forward to try to find a negotiated solution. At the same time, we need to
I'm
continue
sorry,
to
Biden
support
was an
Ukraine,
asshole.
and therefore I'm proud that Norway has actually tripled the military support to Ukraine. And this year we will allocate close to $8 billion to Ukraine. That will strengthen them and also their hand on the negotiating table.
If I may add to that, if there's a peace, and there will be a peace, we have a common responsibility in securing democratic Ukraine for the future.
They've been already putting like
they can have
funds for military effort if they needed to.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. President, as it relates to tariffs, Mr. President, when you unveiled your reciprocal tariffs on April the 2nd, the tariff rate for Norway was 15%. Based upon your conversations that you've had today with the Prime Minister, do you see that tariff rate coming down from what you proposed just a few weeks ago?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure
they
can
have a great
work
fund
on deals, right?
of $2 trillion. It's a big fund, and they don't have any debt. So I think they'd probably be willing to pay us more than that, I hope.
Are the two nations in agreement?
Mr. President,
Yes.
in 2018, your former
That just sounds like you're trying to shake down Norway. I don't think Norway's president is going to be like, yeah, no, we're not.
Why has this administration changed its stance on territorial concessions for Crimea?
Well, the war started. It would have never started if I were president. This is a war that is horrible. All wars are horrible. This one is in particular
There he
bad.
goes on the same
And,
speech again.
I don't
the
know
wars
that you can ever
horrible.
say there's going to be a winner to this
Horrible.
because so many lives have been lost. Not only soldiers. I mean, a lot of lives have been lost. I think that we want to do one very simple thing. It would have never happened if I were president. Zero chance it was going to. And it didn't. People say, how do you know that? Number one, it didn't happen. We never even discussed it. I would talk to Putin about it. It was the apple of his eye. Ukraine was the apple of
He
Putin's
keeps
eye.
saying that.
There was never even a thought that he'd go in. And I think he understood that I would not be happy if he did. And
he said that's
it was only when I got out.
Whenever he
And,
gets asked
when you
these questions
mentioned
about Ukraine
what
and
happened
Russia.
to Ukraine years ago under President
What was
Obama
the
and a
fucking
vice
thing?
president that was also president later, unfortunately for this country. What happened is large chunks of
Man
land
knows
were
how to
given up, and
repeat.
It was called Crimea, and that was a big,
like
that
a
was a
robot.
big thing. That was a big moment. But this isn't my war. This is Biden's war. This is a war that Biden was president when this war happened. But I'm trying to put out the fire, and I think we'll be successful. And if we do, we're going to save a lot of lives. Otherwise,
I mean, look,
the Prime Minister
Biden
had a statement. He said,
did kind of.
this is just a point in time. We're very lucky because this is a point. And if this doesn't happen,
zip his lips when
this
he
could
should
go on
have.
for a long time.
He said some fucked up shit.
Will you have meetings with other world leaders here in Rome, sir?
That was funny when he said that shit. Yeah.
I don't think he will. I think he wants to make peace. I think he wants to end it. and I feel pretty confident.
It was
that
just
we're
like,
gonna-
oh yeah,
we're
it's
gonna know
okay
pretty
if
soon.
Putin does his thing, as long as it doesn't do too much damage. And it's like, dude, what?
Yes, I will.
Goddamn, you're fucking insane.
Well, I'd like to meet them all.
And then the next day, he
That
was
would be
just
nice.
like,
I'd like
oh,
to
I
take
got
care of all of them, but we have many of them
I
there,
did not
and they
mean
all
it
wanna
like
meet.
that.
They want to meet about trade. And we are making some great inroads and great deals. You might want to speak about that, Mr. Secretary.
We had a very successful bilateral meeting with the Republic of South Korea today. We
South
may
Korea.
be moving faster than I thought, and we will be talking technical terms as early as next week as we reach an agreement on
South Korea
understanding
already
as soon as next week. So South Koreans
coming to the table.
came early. They came with their A game, and we will see if they follow through on that.
President Trump, you're around the government for 100 days.
Do you think
Just
you deserve the Nobel
calm the
Peace
fuck
Prize?
down, you fucking people.
Do I deserve the Nobel Peace?
Do I just wait?
Well,
What?
maybe for the Abraham Accords. I don't want to get ahead of myself on this one, but they say for the Abraham Accords. And by the way, speaking of that, we're going to be filling it up. A lot of countries want to come into the Abraham Accords. You know, we have 4. And Biden did nothing on that one, too. It's the same 4. But they're great countries, and they were brave doing it, and it's worked out very well. And we're going to be filling up the Abraham Accords. They're going to be, I think, filling it up very rapidly. Martha,
Mr. President.
could you say something about that?
There's great, enormous opportunity to grow the Abraham Accords. But I would just point to one thing. Of all the leaders in the world today, no leader is working harder to prevent wars or end them than President Trump is right now. We're trying. That's why we're talking to Iran. That's why we're engaged with Ukraine and Russia. It's the desire to prevent these wars from breaking out and to end the ones that exist already. And again, I just think it's tremendous for our country to be led by a president who desires to bring peace and establish peace and protect peace. So it's hard work.
Mr. President, you know, Marco just mentioned something that maybe we should talk about for just a second, if we could, Mr. Prime Minister. And you're involved in it too, because you've been involved in the world and peace. But I think we're doing very well with respect to Iran, and we're having very serious meetings. And there are only 2 options, and the one option is not a good option. It's not a good option at all. And I think we're doing very well on an agreement with Iran, but that one, we're doing a lot of things, I will say, but that one is well on its way. We could have a very, very good decision, and a lot of lives will be saved.
Mr. President, on the economy, there was a slowdown. Mr. President, on the economy, there was a slowdown as it relates to home sales in the month of March, the slowest pace since 2009. Is that an economic indicator, and perhaps the Treasury Secretary can weigh in on this as well, is that an economic indicator that concerns you about the broader U.S. economy?
No, they had very good numbers on housing today, extremely good numbers, and that's despite interest rates, because, you know, if you look at what happened, everyone said, oh, I said I was going to get prices down. I did. Energy just hit $1.98 in a couple of states. It's way down. Energy's down, and we're about $64 a barrel. When I came in, and we were looking at $89, $90, $95. And by the way, that helps us solve the war too. Having those energy prices is a big incentive for Russia to also agree with solving the war problem. Groceries are down. When I was with you 2 months ago, you were complaining about eggs. I said, I just got here. I was here for about a week when the press started saying about eggs have gone through the roof. I said, I just got here. Tell me about eggs. And they happened. They went through the roof, and you couldn't get them. So we just had a big Easter egg hunt at the White House. Thousands and thousands of eggs, and the price was down 87%. So we did a great job. Housing is doing very well. We should lower interest rates.
Yes,
the Fed.
we got it.
I hope they lower interest rates. That's a smart thing to do. Be ahead a little bit, although already it's a little bit late. But in the end, we just have a great country. We have a very strong country, and we have every other country. I can't think of one country that doesn't want to negotiate a deal. And they either negotiate a deal or we set a deal that we think is fair. Because we don't have to go through all of these. It would be physically impossible. You know, you have so many people that really understand it, which is a very small group of people here. And we are going to, at some point, just set prices for deals. Some will be tariffed. Some treated us very unfairly. They'll be tariffed higher than others. But we've been ripped off for many, many years. The United States has been ripped off like no country probably in the history of the world has been ripped off for 45, 50 years. And countries
I mean,
have
why don't
gotten
you just
rich
group up
by
countries and tell
doing
them,
that
hey,
with the United States. We've taken care
guys
of their
group up
militaries, and
and make
military
deals
is
with
another
me right
subject
now.
we talk about. We're not going to make that subject to any
or
of
else
the deals.
the tariffs.
But you know the same countries
I
that
dream,
do
what do
where
you
we
want,
virtually
little
take care of
poop?
their military, and then don't get treated fairly on trade. So the people, and I don't blame those countries. I blame the people that sat at that
What you
beautiful
want,
desk right
little
behind
poop?
you, because those people didn't do the job for this country, and they let us lose $4 billion a day on trade. We were losing $4 or $5 billion a day on trade when I got here, and now we're going to be much better than breaking even, and we're going to be making $4 or $5 billion a day on
no,
trade.
I can't even see
So,
chat. Maybe I
but
should move chat box.
I don't blame any country, not the worst of them. And we were abused by countries. I blame the President of the United States that happened to be sitting when these deals were made. Disgraceful. When I was here, we had a great 4 years. We had the most successful economy in the history of our country, my first term. And we were very tough on trade. And with China, as you know, they paid hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. But nobody else ever did that. China paid not 10 cents to any other president. And but not only China, virtually every country got away with murder. And we just can't let that happen. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Head out. Please start moving. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, press. Head out. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you.
That's it. Everyone gets kicked the fuck out. God, mistake. Get the fuck out.
I just finished showing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No more photos. Thanks. Keep moving. We're done. Sir, we're done.
Sir, get the fuck out. Sir. It's just like, sir, you need to leave or else. Do not make me. Sir.